Refract the light. What do you see? If you have a golf ball-sized consciousness, when you read a book, you will have a golf ball-size understanding. When you look out, a golf ball-size awareness. But if you could expand that consciousness, everything is nothing with a twist. Sound is light and light is sound. Refract the light. What do you see?
May their efforts be crowned with success. And speed the day when modern science shall be spiritualized and conduct its investigations of matter from the standpoint of spirit, for then, and not until then, will it arrive at a true knowledge of the world.
We've been obsessed by the number 7 for as long as we know. I mean, go back to the earliest writing that there is on Babylonian clay tablets, and they're just full of 7s. And you have 7 dwarfs, 7 sins, 7 seas, 7 sisters. The list just goes on and on. So why is 7 so special?
Spiritual science is the study of harmony. And harmony we can find through the 3 pillars: music, geometry, and numbers.
Pythagoreans used the 7-tone harmonic scale to teach the working of the cosmos.
Musica universalis. Musica universalis.
I like to make music, made music all my life. Then I started making film. I saw a pattern. Connecting sound with light. Refract the white or clear light, what do you see? You will see 7 colors. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, violet/indigo. Is this the main structure or pattern of our universe? I asked myself. Could everything connect to everything else? From the major scale in our music, to the days of the week, to the colors of the rainbow. Are we in a fractal hologram, where everything is connected? 7 billion souls on 7 seas and 7 continents?
Though the esoteric philosophy would say that all of creation is actually the one life, and that this one life is manifesting as the many, and that there are many divisions of that many as it manifests into the infinite variety and diversity, there are said to be 7 fundamental qualities that arise from that. A simple analogy would be to look at the idea of God as white light. Now, when we take white light and we project it through a prism, we see that it fragments itself into 7 colors of the visible spectrum. By using the law of analogy, we can see the same thing playing out. The one life, the light of God, the light of the one life, manifests in and as cosmos, and in the process it becomes prismatic, and it divides itself into 7 colors, 7 qualities, 7 states of consciousness, and that is what we call the rays. Those 7 qualities are equal in their importance to the one life, and that as they manifest, they then intersect and interface and create different mixtures of density of one over another, and ultimately it leads to the great diversity and manifestation that we have today. These 7 qualities of consciousness are the foundation of everything in manifestation, and that they are uniquely expressive of qualities of life, qualities of consciousness, and in a way, they are viewed as beings in their own right.
We're going to take a closer look at the electromagnetic spectrum.
If we understand the nature of the universe, we have to think in terms of frequency and vibration and energy. Frequency and vibration. Now, we could substitute the words frequency and vibration with the words waves, but then we'd have to ask the question, frequency and vibrations of what?
What we see as light is only a small part of the electromagnetic spectrum. The electromagnetic spectrum refers to the many types of radiation released from stars, including our own sun. Electromagnetic radiation travels in waves. Frequency describes how many waves per second a wavelength produces. Wavelength measures the length of an individual wave in meters.
This is a mechanical model of what you've just seen. Instead of a row of coils, we've got a row of rods. We're going to feed them with alternating current so that each one can rise and fall. And when we turn the whole thing, we get the impression of something traveling along. But I want you to notice that nothing actually travels along, because each rod only moves up and down. The thing that makes it real is when we put something into one of the troughs of the wave. Then something real travels along, can make it go the other way. If you watch an individual rod, such as this one, you'll see that it's only going up and down. There is no horizontal movement at all. Only the ball is a real thing moving side to side.
Scientists describe the electromagnetic spectrum as a long line. At one end lie radio waves, with the longest wavelengths and lowest frequencies in the spectrum. A single radio wave has the length of a football field. After radio waves come microwaves, which produce more energy due to shorter wavelengths and higher frequencies. Cell phones, radar, and microwave ovens use microwaves. Next comes infrared light. The sun, fire, living creatures, and other heat sources all produce infrared light. While we cannot see infrared light, we feel it as heat. Visible light occupies a narrow slice of the electromagnetic spectrum, nestled between infrared and ultraviolet light. Red wavelengths have the lowest frequencies and longest wavelengths of visible light. As you move from red through orange, yellow, green, blue, and finally violet, wavelengths shorten and frequencies increase. From visible violet light, we move into ultraviolet frequencies. Human skin produces vitamin D when exposed to ultraviolet light, but excessive ultraviolet light causes sunburns. Next, X-rays, which pass through soft tissue but not denser materials such as bone, making them valuable for medical tests. X-rays also have security applications such as airport baggage checks. Gamma rays produce even shorter wavelengths, higher frequencies, and more energy. In comparison to the football field-sized wavelengths of radio waves, gamma ray wavelengths are as small as atom nuclei.
Light is not a wave particle. Light is neither a wave nor is it a particle. It is a coaxial circuit field perturbation that works off simplex rules of pressure mediation. It is a longitudinal propagating field perturbation.
Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said,
"Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters."
And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said,
"Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear."
And it was so.
To further highlight that, one more feature needs to be understood. As the one becomes the seven, it first becomes three before becoming the seven. The one becomes the three, becomes the seven. And then the infinite number of diversities that arise from that. Think of white light, as I said, going through a prism, but a prism is always going to manifest as a triangle, and that you're projecting light through a triangle of prismatic glass, and that causes the division of the light into 7 colors of the visible spectrum. So in that simple analogy that I've given you, you have the one, the white light, the 3, the prism, and the resultant 7 rays that come through as the light passes through that prism. So the analogy is very useful in just getting a sense of the underpinning of how important the 3 is, but even more so now, as it'll give us an understanding of where does the 7 come from? Where does it emerge out of? And each of these 7 rays is in a way a deity in its own right, a massive life force. And each has a piece to play in the evolution of all things.
Every activity is a form of energy, and energy cannot be dissipated. It is retained. We are in a closed system.
But Professor, why were they looking for 7 Earths?
Because in the old literature, even before the Quran, the number 7 Earths was mentioned.
The ancient Hebrews were not the first to follow a 7-day week, nor were they the creators of it. It was actually the ancient Babylonians who invented the week as we know it now.
States of consciousness, whether ascending or descending, are septenary.
The one eternal law unfolds everything in the to-be manifested nature on a 7-fold principle.
Among the rest, countless circular chains of worlds composed of 7 planes, graduated on the 4 lower planes of the world of formation. The 3 others belonging to the archetypical universe.
Out of these 7, only one, the lowest and the most material of those planes, is within our plane or means of perception.
The 6 others lying outside of it, being invisible to the terrestrial eye. Every such chain of worlds is the progeny and creation of another, lower and dead chain. It is reincarnation, so to say.
7 times 7 is 49, is also the incarnation cycle according to the Tibetan Book of the Dead.
3 times 7 is 21. 21 grams is said to be the weight of our soul.
Do you not know how Allah has created the 7 heavens, one above the other?
The ascent and descent through these realms by the beings that inhabit them is represented in the Bible by Jacob's ladder. This is the fourth dimension, the world of vital energy. The androgynous ancestors of humanity existed in a more subtle level of nature.
God is he who created the seven heavens, and of the earth a similar number.
We were discussing in the previous episode the notion of seven firmaments and seven earths. Only lately I came to realize the fact that the seven earths are within our earth. And this was substantiated by the study of the internal structure of the earth. As I said earlier, earthquakes, natural or artificial, can delineate the boundaries between seven different zones within the earth.
Different types of rocks?
Different types of rocks.
Okay.
Because these also decrease in density as you go from inside outward.
We see the sevenfoldness in the macro and the micro. This is also one of seven hermetic laws. Different scales, different octaves. Earth has seven layers, and so does our skin. So are we in a fractal hologram?
And as you may have seen in other systems, the body houses a system of energy portals. There are seven key ones, there are another seven subtle ones, another seven even more subtle ones, but these are the main ones.
Munchie, can you leap up now, please?
Get up, now off. One. Look, you can see a face even. Two. The face again. Three. 4. 5. 6. 7.
What is reality? Is it singular in nature? Or do several parallel realities exist at the same time?
We have to believe in that, although we cannot see them. We only see part of the first firmament.
We can see the seven levels of the first firmament, the seven levels of our atmosphere. Our electromagnetic spectrum also has seven bands.
Seven is the single highest prime number in our seven-dimensional construct.
The more subtle information, therefore, is transformed into chemicals by the glands as they are influenced by the scalar waves produced by the chakras. Each of the chakras is related to certain physical processes, organs, and psycho-emotional processes.
See, everything you do, everything you say, every action you take, every penny you earn or spend is recorded.
So are we in a fractal hologram?
On the plural number of the firmaments, that this is an affirmation from the Creator himself, who has created this universe, and he is saying, I have created seven firmaments.
To be continued.